Hey guys, welcome back to week 6 of the Soccer Shack. I'm Patrick Garber. I'm here with Will Hoffman. Max Weidman unfortunately cannot be with us due to him being sick, so we have a special guest here, a fellow Bridgewater College Senior in Laz Garcia. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, what's up, guys? All right, so big couple weeks. I mean, we had that spring break, so we couldn't talk about this last week for our podcast, but huge result. The Hallelujah chorus is playing in the Premier League. God is on Arsenal's side, and Liverpool has finally lost to Watford, one of the bottom teams in the Premier League, Watford. It wasn't just an accidental victory. It was a 3-0.
Like a beatdown almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, Watford just went to pound town on Liverpool, and they did not even look back. 3-0 victory. Ismail Yassar, man of the match, 2 goals for him. And they made Liverpool's defense absolutely look terrible, which not a lot of teams have done this year.
Yeah,
so
it was
kudos to them.
Yeah, and one of the things the commentators were talking about at the end of the game, it wasn't just, like I said, it wasn't an accidental win. It wasn't like one of the Liverpool defenders had an own goal or whatever. It was a 3-0 thumping. And I've never seen Liverpool that almost, in a way, distraught. At some points during the game, the commentators were looking at Klopp's body language, and he's like, "Who is this guy? What is? This isn't Jurgen Klopp. This isn't Liverpool. What is going on?" And honestly, that game should have been 4-0. There was a chance near the end of the game. Sarr had a one-on-one with Alisson. He just missed it wide, but that was I don't know. It was crazy because now with that game, Liverpool lost 3 out of 4 in all competitions. So I don't know what's going on there in Liverpool, but I'm sure they're in need of some change.
Mm-hmm. They seem completely just completely disinterested in the match.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said with Klopp, just seemed completely down on himself. He's usually running up and down the touchline.
Mm-hmm.
Him standing still was completely something we're not used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was surprised at the result. I mean, I'm sure the Watford fans were like, "What is going on?"
The Watford fans over there having a blast at Vicarage Road.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, that was Matchweek 28. This past week was Matchweek 29, and we've got some big matches. Obviously, we'll talk about the Big Six, and then we'll also integrate Leicester into that. But we've got Liverpool winning 2-1 against Bournemouth. They got back on track this week. Arsenal picked up a very, very, very close victory against West Ham, beating them 1-0. And then we've got Burnley and Tottenham drawing 1-1, so Spurs dropping points and falling down the table. Then up next is Chelsea, 4-0 victors over Everton. And then we've got the big match of the weekend. Laz, I know you're very happy about this being a Manchester United fan, but Manchester United winning 2-0 against Manchester City in the Manchester Derby, so good 3 points for them. And then finally, Leicester City, the team sitting third on the Premier League table, winning 4-0 here today against Aston Villa. Now, let's talk about our players of the week. So, Laz, being the guest here on the show, would you like to go first?
Being biased, as a Man United supporter, I would have to go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka for his defensive display against Manchester City. Playing in that right back role, he was forced to match up against Raheem Sterling from Man City. Very skillful dribbler, very explosive player. And Wan-Bissaka said no, shut him down. He minimized Sterling's contributions to the side. Excellent tackling. He also got involved in the attacking play as well. Had a chance to assist Martial. Overall, great display. Very exciting to see having an attacking fullback for Man United. So.
Especially since he's a young player too.
Yeah, he's only just 20, like 21 something.
I think he's
so.
21, 22. Yeah, he's going to be fighting Trent Alexander-Arnold for that right back role at the Euros this summer.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Even if they have Euros, who knows with this coronavirus?
All right, well, very solid pick. Will, would you like to go next?
Well, it was going to be Bert Leno for the 1-0 draw on Arsenal. However, because of this latest result, I'm going to go with Jamie Vardy. He has been battling some injuries, and he scored a brace today. So I think it shows that he's I don't want to say back to his earlier season form. However, I think he's on his way back. And I believe, I think you told me this earlier, Patrick, that with these 2 goals, he's one goal away from having 100 goals in Premier League. So very exciting for him. And yeah, I think he's going to get my player of the week this week.
Yeah. Jamie Vardy had a very good week, scoring 2 against Aston Villa, coming off the bench as well. So
that's
not
even
bad.
better.
Yeah, not bad for the England striker, and also propelling himself back to the top of the goal scoring tallies with 19 on the season. He's moved past Aubameyang, who's on 17 in second place, and as well picking up 98th and 99th goal for his Premier League career. For mine this week, obviously you said it was going to be Bernd Leno if Jamie Vardy didn't have the afternoon he had today, but I'm still going to go with Bernd Leno. I know that's 2 weeks in a row that he's been my player of the week.
Oh,
but,
yes, it has.
yes. Yeah, he's saved us once again here against West Ham, and it's just that the commanding goalkeeping style. I like how he makes sure the defenders know where they are, even though Arsenal's had some suspect defending this past season and last season. He's well on his way to being a world-class goalie, in my opinion, and this shutout just proves it. All right, so good picks from everybody this week. Now we will be going into the live Premier League standings as this last game against Leicester and Aston Villa had wrapped up. We've got currently Liverpool 2 wins away from being crowned Premier League champions, sitting on 82 points. Then their closest challenger, Manchester City, who sit on 57, but with the game in hand, so that could move to 60 after Wednesday's match when they play Arsenal. Hopefully Arsenal can get the 3 points. Then we've got Leicester City, who bagged 3 points this weekend against Aston Villa, sitting in 3rd. Then we get down to the race for 4th and the race for the Champions League spots. Chelsea sitting on 48 in 4th. Then we've got, Laz, your team, Manchester United, sitting in 5th on 45. Wolves, surprise team, sitting on 43. As well as Sheffield United, another very, very surprise team, sitting on 43. Tottenham dropping points this week, moved down to 8th place, sitting on 41. And then Arsenal, who are in 9th with 40. And then honorable mentions, of course, Burnley and Crystal Palace still in with a sniff, sitting on 39 points. So about 9 points off of Chelsea in 4th. So literally it's like anybody's race for these Champions League spots. But probably the more interesting race is the race at the bottom. And we've got a bunch of relegation candidates. So going from bottom to the top, we've got Norwich City sitting on 21 points. Probably the team most likely out of these teams to get relegated. Obviously, they got promoted last year, so up and down season for them. Then we've got Aston Villa sitting in 19th place on 25 points. Another team up and down. They came up last year. Then we've got a surprise team in Bournemouth, who have been not top of the table. They've been in the top half of the table the past couple years under Eddie Howe, and it's just not going to plan here for them. Obviously, for the viewers who don't know, the bottom 3 teams at the end of the season get relegated to the English Championship Division. So as of right now, it would be Norwich, Aston Villa, and Bournemouth. But that doesn't stop there. We've got other teams close. We've got Watford still tied on points with Bournemouth, as well as West Ham, but both of them doing better on goal differential. And then there's Brighton and Hove Albion sitting on 29 points, still in with a sniff. So with that said, now we shift gears here, and we will start with Will's obscure transfer rumors of the week. So, Will, what you got for us this week?
All right, let's see. I'm going to start off with a possible managerial change coming out from La Liga. Reports out of Spain say that Real Madrid is keeping tabs on Mauricio Pochettino as a possible replacement for Zidane. Now, I just don't see Pochettino working in well with Real Madrid, because Zidane he's played there, has won Champions League with them there. I mean, I get if your team's not getting the results, you need something to change. But honestly, I don't see that happening. However, we'll find out soon enough. All right, and then in the Premier League, one of the transfers is a possible transfer from Bundesliga. Kai Havertz, the Bayern Leverkusen midfielder, he might go to Arsenal.
Dude, bring him to the carpet. I would love that.
He
And I
might
know,
go to Arsenal.
I know Kai Havertz is a big Mesut Ozil fan when
Yeah.
he was growing up. So, dude, if we can bring in another creative midfielder who has like the talent that Mesut Ozil had in the past, boy.
And he's young too.
Yeah.
So you could possibly build a team around him as well. I mean, obviously there's other transfers with him going to Spain, France. He's really up there with all the big teams around Europe. Pretty much anybody you can think of. So like PSG, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's still up in the air, but Arsenal is one of the teams that this particular source says he might go to. Next one, we've talked relatively little about this guy, just because he's been injured the whole season. So Leroy Sané, possibly leaving Manchester City to go back to Germany to play with Bayern Munich. You know what? I kind of see this happening because I think I've heard of reports that he hasn't been liking Man City lately, and I think a change is definitely needed for him to spark his career again because this season's been devastated by injury. So we'll see how that works out. Any thoughts about that or?
Personally, I do remember over the summer Leroy Sané and this transfer possibly happening, and then he got injured, so the deal kind of fell through. I've seen reports Bayern Munich lately have been coming back and saying like, oh, is Leroy Sané still available? We kind of still want him, but then this whole news of Manchester City probably not being in Champions League next season, most of their players, like we've talked about in the past, probably will leave just because of that. So it'll be interesting come the summer window, see if Leroy Sané is still a Manchester City player come next season. No, I definitely think Bayern Munich could be a very good destination for Leroy Sané.
So we've talked about this guy before, possibly a move to Liverpool. Timo Werner, again, RB Leipzig. He has a possible transfer proposal from Barcelona and, surprisingly, Manchester United.
So, yeah, I still think Timo Werner is still on the cards for Liverpool. But other than that, I don't really see him going anywhere if he does leave RB Leipzig. Maybe Bayern Munich, but other than that, yeah. Barcelona, Manchester United, no offense to you.
I don't see it happening.
But yeah, no, it's not that sexy destination that you want to play for. Do you have any more or
Yes, last but not least, it comes out of La Liga again. This guy, this character, reports of Neymar headed back to Barcelona.
So obviously we've heard this in the past just because of like, oh, Neymar doesn't like it in PSG. It's too easy in France. He'd rather come back and get some more money, which the whole reason he went to France was to get this money. So I don't know. Barcelona, they obviously they got creative players. They've got Griezmann, they've got Ousmane Dembele, but other than that, you see these players, they've brought in Coutinho in the past, but these players just don't work with Messi. And I don't know, like, obviously they're creative. They're very good at their former clubs, and they should be good. Like, you would think they would be good together, but they get here at Barcelona, and I don't know if it's like a curse or something that's put on Barcelona, but they literally cannot play together, and it doesn't make any sense. All these world-class players, and you would think, oh, they'll get along, no problem. But then it's no.
I do believe this, honestly, that the best Barca teams were Barca Academy players playing in the starting 11.
Obviously, you got Xavi, Iniesta, Carlos Puyol, all these Victor Valdez from the
Busquets, Piqué.
It's very interesting dynamic at Barcelona, and I don't think they've never really hit back. Obviously, they've been good, but they've never hit back at that tiki-taka Pep Guardiola style of team when they had Thierry Henry, David Villa, Ronaldinho. Samuel Eto'o. Mm-hmm. They've never gotten back to that standard, and I don't know if we will ever see that again. Personally, I don't even know if we'll ever see a team like that again because, honestly, I hate Barcelona, but that was just amazing to watch, dude.
All right, and that was the last one I have for y'all this week. Or actually, it's been 2 weeks. Yeah. So a lot more transfer news and headlines for you guys. But yeah, that was the last one.
All right, so with Will wrapping up obviously, we've got one thing left, and it's going to be slightly different from weeks in the past, but we're going to highlight a game that we think will be very important come the weekend. So, Laz, since you are the guest, what would you say the biggest match of the week is?
Okay. Even though I am biased, I will exclude this bias for this match. I would have to say the upcoming Man U Tottenham match. Big implications on the top 4 Champions League spot. Big game, obviously, as Man U's good form is going and Tottenham's going in the opposite direction. Be interesting to see if Tottenham can respond with Mourinho versus his old side, and see if Man U can try to come back on Chelsea to get that 4th place spot.
That's interesting you say that, bringing up Tottenham, because there's just reports out today saying that Jose Mourinho had a press conference saying Steven Bergwijn, their new signing from January, has an ankle injury and will most likely not play again this season. So that is another very good attacking option that Tottenham has lost very recently, with Son and Harry Kane also being out for the rest of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see where their goals are going to come from. Good pick. Will, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to say Merseyside Derby, Everton and Liverpool. I don't know if it has any, significance. I mean, the only thing that I can think of is that if Liverpool wins, they're one more win away from winning the league. But, I mean, Everton, aren't they, I believe they're in, 12th? Well, so the lower half of the table. I mean, a derby's always good to watch.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it's a very good pick. Last season, there was very close calls. Obviously, Liverpool barely escaped Goodison Park, where Everton play. Guess who scored there? Divock Origi. So,
Club legend,
yeah. A good pick. I will give you that one. And for mine, I'm going to have to go with, you may not think this is all that impressive, but I'm going to go with Crystal Palace. They will be playing against Bournemouth. But yeah, that's going to be it for us this week. Thank you, Laz, for stepping in on such short notice, as Max just literally said he was sick today and couldn't do this. So
thanks for having me.
Thank you. Hopefully we can have you back in the future. No doubt. But that's gonna wrap up the Soccer Shack this week. I'm Patrick Garber with Will Hoffman and Laz Garcia, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Cheers.